Hi, this is Brett with the support team at STRAC. In today's video, we're going to take a look at how to log into the desktop version and how to look up PCRs from things that we've already created, and NFIRS, or in this case, also NERIS, as we start marching into that for 2026 and on. Okay, let's go ahead and jump in. Again, we're using the red icon, not the blue one. The blue one, again, is for field. These would be for devices leaving the station that might lose internet connection periodically. In this case, we are focused on the desktop version, which allows us to interact directly with the server as we work with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get logged in on it. As you can see, it's asking for my login. I can simply sign in and it'll take me to this page. So once in this page, we want to verify that we're actually on the desktop version. And we can do that by taking a look at these tabs up above. And you can see that these are the tabs that we would see, again, if we're logged into that version of ImageTrend. So for this purpose, we are using test agency. That'll allow me to show you some different things as we go through this training. Again, as I've shown in other videos, some of your training will be curtailed more to your specific agency as your agency decides to create that training for you in-house for them. Okay, that being said, if there's anything you ever need from us at the support team at STRAC, you can always reach out to us at support@strac.org. We have a team here ready to help you anytime. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this and take a look at what we can do. So before I go, just want to mention out for anybody watching this, you're going to have different user rights set up by your agency. And what that basically means is your agency will have at least one administrator. That administrator has full rights to your agency's ImageTrend Elite system. They can control and curtail different pieces of the system to what your agency is looking for, instead of just the overall one that's used in the region. And that's a neat thing about this system. So as you promote up or ask to do different things within your agency, you would want to get with that administrator to have your user rights changed so you have access to more things. In this one, we're just going to show you a brief overview of the different things that you can take a look at. Okay, first of all, under our home agency, if you just click on it, it's going to give you this page right here. And if you're a person with the admin rights, you're going to be able to jump into different aspects of it. Now, because of my login, I do have rights to other agencies to see. You would not have this. This would just have the name of your agency here. But you can see different things that you would be able to jump into as the admin person. And then, of course, these over here. As a user, you could click on this. All right, so as you can see in here, again, living in test agency, this is an example of what it would look like. This is all the users in your agency. And again, this can be created by your admin person, or if needed, we can do it here at support@strac.org. Next, we're looking at incidents. Now, this is a page where a lot of your users will be able to jump in and work with. This is probably the main page that anybody using this program from each individual agency will need to have access to. And let me start to walk through it. This one takes a little bit longer than the others, but that's okay. Now, let's go ahead and talk about language in this program. EMS doesn't mean that you have to be an EMS agency. What this refers to is if you created a PCR dealing with a medical issue, regardless of what your agency runs, whether you're just fire only, fire and EMS, or just EMS, this is where I would click and it would take me to previous EMS runs. Now, again, I'm living in test agencies, so there may not be anything coming up, but let me show you how you can try to mess with this a little bit. It's always going to start with incomplete EMS incidents. Now, it's always going to default to that, but you can change it, and your agency will build out the things in here for you to look for. For me, when I go look for something, I always go to all EMS and then the NFIRS versions. Again, this is just what I like to do. You can change or utilize any of the ones created for you. And then you can go back and change the dates. So I'm just going to X out the date, and that's going to allow me to take a look at everything ever created by test agency, or in this case, your agency, would be listed here. If you're going back and looking for a specific run, I would just go ahead and look for the dates that falls in, because it will shorten the length of time that your computer's doing a search. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it like that. And as you come over, you can see different filters that can be filled in. You can also go to this, which opens up more filters. And again, this page in its entirety can actually be changed by your agency to change out these filters according to what they want to be able to see when they're using this view. So I'm going to click that back to shut it. and I can hit go. Also up in here, if there was a specific number that I was looking for, I could type it in here and then hit go. So in this case, I'm just going to hit go. And as you can see, we have the result set for 200 per page. If you have over 200, it'll give you one of 256 in this case, which means after the first 200 that I can see, I would simply have to click on this to go to the next ones. So just want to make sure that you can see that. We do get some phone calls every so often or questions about, I can't find it. Sometimes this is an easy way to look for things as well. Again, your preset here is 200. You can change that to whatever you want for your agency. So we'd simply just kind of go down and take a look at what we're doing. Now, to cover this, I want to go over these buttons right here. As we go through, it'll name it for you, but you can see attachments. You can add this as an attachment. You can send this in an email. You can print it. Or this is a really cool button. You can also look up the history of who has done anything with this particular incident report. It's just a good way to keep track of each individual file. As we move over here, you can click on this one. I recommend that you do not, especially if you're looking up a few incident numbers, because this will change the page that we're looking at right now to this specific PCR. What I would do instead is this button down here. Now, as I click on this, I'd like for you to watch up here in my tabs. And as you can see here, it says open a new tab. So when I do this, it's simply going to open up that PCR in a new tab. Now, the cool thing about that is I can go back to my EMS list as I still have this going on, and I could open up new tabs to look at those specific PCRs. You can also try AI Assist, which is just brought on if your agency is using that. This will help you to look up different things as well. If you were to look for things that say strokes, you can hit go, and it'll start to find all the PCRs relating to stroke type incidents. It's a pretty cool feature. Again, that's if you're using the AI Assist. Quick recap on this. You have this if your agency has it on. You can type directly the incident number you want, hit the go, use the filter page here to look things up. Again, you can change the filters that are present here. Just get with your admin in your agency and they can help you to do that. Okay, so that is the incidents list that we look at. We're going to go back to that page and take a look at some of these. Again, NERIS fire as we go into 2026, January 1. As you remember, the federal government has asked that we leave NFIRS and go to NERIS. So what does that mean for all the agencies? It means these will be the ones that you're looking up as you go forward from January 1 on, or whatever date your agency said prior to January 1. But for sure, after January 1, this is the forms that we'll be using that get submitted to the state and to the federal government. Now, what does that mean for our NFIRS? You can still go in and look up your NFIRS if that's something that you need to do. That information is yours and that's not going away. Just know that January 1, 2026 on, NERIS is where we're going to be living in. So you can still look up both reports, and this is where you would do that from, much like you did the EMS report. So let me go ahead and hit on the NFIRS page, so that way you can take a look at that, since that's something that everybody has a lot of information on. And again, it's the same format. You can drop down to whatever your system has created for your views. These are some of the common ones. All incident reports. Again, you can change the dates, which I'm simply just knocking this off. And then my filters, again, you can see the filters that can be changed by your agency. These, again, are just some common ones that we made for our test agency. I'm going to hit go, and you can see it starts to bring them up. Again, the same buttons that we had before. If I wanted to look at this, I would simply open in a new tab. So I did not go away from this page. All right, so let's go back to incidents again. So that would be the same for NERIS once you start collecting NERIS information and creating those reports. Again, EMS NERIS, EMS NFIRS, this is just a combination if you were to have a multi-agency that does both. If you're doing the NFIRS, in this case, that's what I picked, and your EMS reports, you could do the incompletes, or you could look at all of them. Again, you can start to see how these things work. I am just going to change the dates by just tacking them out. I'm going to hit go, and this will show me the different runs that we have. Now, the cool thing about it is you have these little icons. The little blue ambulance simply goes towards the medical PCRs that you've created, and the little fire flame icon simply goes towards the, in this case, NFIRS that you've created. And as you start to move into the NERIS forms, you will be able to look up the same thing. The blue ambulance, again, the medical runs, and the red flame, again, will be your fire NERIS reports going forward. So let's go back to incidents. That is the left side of this. So if I'm an end user and I've been asked to go in and take a look at one of those, that's where I would look at it from. Each agency, again, sets up their user rights to do different things, but the vast majority of user agencies have this where you can access it. Again, your home agency will determine who has the rights to look into what aspects of things. So just reach out to your contact in your agency that has the admin rights to open these things up for you if that's what they choose to do. The things on the bottom down here are really more for your admin. And as they start to go through it, they can kind of click on these to see what they do. But again, this is just a general form to show mostly any user that would be able to jump into this. As you know, you can go into field if you're creating this on the fly out in the field as you're doing your thing. But if you come back and you want to create it inside the system, again, the red icon, desktop version, you can actually create these here. You can see the choices. Create new EMS. Again, the 3.5 rapid entry. This is the one that we would be utilizing if you're trying to create it now. Most of them have this hidden. This, again, is our test agency where we have more stuff showing. Also, if you're going to create a new NERIS form starting January 1, 2026, you could simply click on this. If you're an agency that has CAD information, you could drop down here and do the exact same thing, which allows you to interact with your CAD information. So if you come over here to switch to, this is the other modules that your agency can utilize. So if I wanted to switch my view, I could simply just click on that, and now we're in community health. You see, not only did it change the name up here, but it changed some of the things that I could look at as I start to go through. Now, again, this is a deeper look at what you can find on here. And again, it's also predicated on the user rights that you have determined by your home agency. But if you have an MIH program, you can see that this information's here, and this is how I would look it up. Locations, occupants, and inspections. If you happen to be doing that for your agency, this is where you would start to do that information and kind of go from there. And you can see it's just collapsing according to what we have. So I'm just going through CQI buckets. Again, this is where your CQI buckets would be created for your home agency. And as you start to move down, fire investigations, training and activities, inventory, checklists, and if you choose to use hydrants. Now, the one that we're going to live in, unless you have specifically been asked to do these other things by your home agency, is the EMS/fire. And that is where you will find these pieces of it. Now, going even deeper into it, if you are the person or the point of contact in your agency, you can hit on resources. It'll let you go into the pieces to help build out the information that you're looking for as far as data or even some of the fields that you have. Again, this is just a broad view of what these tools are and how you get to them. Community is a neat button here. Not only have we created under resources, if you go to documents, on the system level, we've created these different documents that you can download. Some are videos, some are PowerPoints, some are just information packets. But we are trying to build out, as you go through, different pieces of information that we've been asked for by our partnering agencies in the region to create some things that help you, much like the video you're watching now. But that's where this lives. And again, just to kind of go through it, that's under resources and documents right here. And that gets you to here. Okay, there's actually a video about that. And it is right here in this introduction video if you want to take a look at that. Okay, moving on to tools. You can also see some of the other information. And again, this is a little deeper into the background of how to build things. If you are that point of contact for your agency and you're the person that does this and you know how to do it, this is why it's here available for you. Again, if you're at the agency and you don't know how to do this, please reach out to our support team. That's what they're there for. And they'll be glad to walk through this with you, teach you how to do it, or if needed, do it for you. Again, you can reach out to us at support@strac.org. Okay, the last tab here is community. This is a neat place to go to. It has a library built in. You can see that. And you can start to look up different things. Now, this is provided by ImageTrend, and this is information that they've put in there. You can simply just traverse through it and kind of go around to take a look at stuff. Help University is a really good tool, again, created by ImageTrend. You can see all these different categories that they have that starts walking you through the different pieces of Elite, the program that we're living in. And so you just look it up, you can search things, really helpful tool as you go through it. you can see that it has different tabs here for you to interact with. So really, as we finish up this video, we just wanted to show you how to log into everything, show you the different tabs and what they do. And this will be for most users as you start to go in and figure out the things that you're interacting with. If you're having to look up the run reports that you've already created, of course, you can do this here. And if you're having to create them from scratch, you can do it on your pen pad and field, or if asked, you can even log into this desktop version and do it either here. And again, if you have a CAD down here. Okay, we hope that this information has been helpful. We hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any other questions or any other ideas you'd like to share with us, or even other videos you'd like for us to create, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at support@strac.org. Have a great day.